All right, we're going to talk about clouds, and you should be able to identify the types of clouds and the weather that comes with each one. Sometimes you might ask, what's the weather going to be today? Is it going to be rainy? Is it going to be nice? And we're going to learn to identify weather patterns based on the types of clouds that we see. Clouds come in different shapes and sizes. They come in different colors. And we're going to use what we know about clouds to find out what type of weather is on the way. There are three main types of clouds. You're going to want to jot these three down. Cumulus, Stratus, and Cirrus. And I want you to say those with me. Cumulus, Stratus, and Cirrus are the three main types of clouds. At the end of this lesson, I am going to add one more cloud to what I think are the four most important clouds. But for right now, jot those three down. Clouds are named by the way they look. Shocker, once again, we used Latin root words to name them. Clouds come in different sizes and shapes. They are formed and they drift at different heights in the sky. All of these things help us name them and to tell us what kind of weather they may bring. Cumulus clouds. Who's ever seen a cloud like this before? Seth, you see this cloud, what type of weather are you expecting that day? Super sunny, very nice weather, right? What do those clouds look like? What do those clouds look like to you, Austin? They're very fluffy. They're white, they're puffy, they look like cotton balls almost. These are cumulus clouds. Let's take a look at what happens with a cumulus cloud. In Latin, cumulus or cumulo means heap. These clouds are white, puffy clouds that may look like cotton balls, and you may see heaps and heaps of these white, fluffy, cotton ball-looking clouds in the sky with some blue sky in between them. When you see this, know that the weather will be fair and sunny. These are stratus clouds. What difference do you notice in a stratus cloud and a cumulus cloud? Jamar? Dark and, did you say gloomy? Oh, that's a great way to describe those. Yeah, they're dark. They're kind of gray. There's another difference I see in these two. Wesley? Just looking at a gray wall, so they cover the entire sky? It's stretched out? Probably not going to bring nice weather. I know in the last class someone said, Mr. Bulls, when I see that, I think it's going to rain and drizzle. And a lot of the times you're probably correct. Let's take a look at stratus clouds. Stratus clouds. Stratus comes from the Latin word meaning to spread out. They are very spread out. Stratus clouds spread out and usually cover the whole sky like a blanket. In Latin, that stratus and stratum is the word for blanket. You'll see that on your homework this week. They occur in horizontal layers, are usually the same color of dark gray across the whole sky. They bring light rain and drizzle. Sometimes if it's colder, you might have those snow flurries or a day where it snows for quite a while. That is stratus clouds. Cirrus clouds. When you see this picture of a cirrus cloud, other than my two guys that have already had the weather unit before, what do you think about? Hunter, what do you think about when you see those? They are very wispy. What else do you think about? It looks like a brush stroke. Maybe Bob Ross is on there. Happy little cloud. Right. What else? What else? What do you think about the weather on that day, Tyler? Looks like a nice day for weather, right? Wispy is one word that I would definitely use to describe that. Yes, sir.
It's nice weather like that day, but like 4 days.
It does kind of predict some weather down the road. Cirrus comes from the Latin word for curl of hair. Who can look at that picture and now think of like the ends of someone's hair and how wispy that is, or can be? These high, wispy clouds look like curly swirls in the sky. It could look like a horse's tail. There's some people that describe it as a horse's tail. I know one sister that I had in the past that really liked that definition of that. They curl in the direction that the wind is blowing. No precipitation will fall from cirrus clouds. Here's a very cool thing. They form really high in the sky, and a lot of these are made of ice crystals. They're made of ice crystals. They are very thin, and sunlight can pass through them. Now that we've covered our three main types of clouds, I want to talk a little bit about this. Prefixes and suffixes. Now you know that we can take these kind of clouds and we can add something to the beginning of them or something to the end of them that changes what they mean. Cirrus clouds come from that prefix word cirro, which means clouds that are formed high in the sky. So anytime you see that word or a variation of the word cirro or cirrus in a name, they are formed very, very high in the sky, above 20,000 feet. Your mid-level clouds, your high ones are cirro clouds. Your mid-level clouds are your alto clouds. They form between 8,000 and 20,000 feet. They are not made out of ice like the cirro clouds. They are made out of water droplets. Very top layer is your cirro clouds. Mid layer is your alto clouds. Your very low-lying clouds are your strato clouds. That's why stratus clouds, when they're outside, almost look like you could just about jump up and grab them. You're like, man, those clouds are super low today. Those are strato clouds. They are below 8,000 feet. Now that's levels of clouds. There's one more prefix or suffix that we can put on there, and that is nimbo or nimbus. When you see nimbo or nimbus, understand that we're talking about precipitation. Sometimes very heavy and harsh precipitation, especially when you're talking about a cumulonimbus cloud. That's when we have our thunderstorm clouds. Any questions about prefixes and suffixes? Let's take a look and see how those actually work. I'm going to go past cirrus clouds. I put that in there because it's a type of cirro. We've already covered that, right? Cirrostratus. What two cloud names do you see in that name? Cirrostratus. Will? Cirrus and stratus. So it sounds like to me, if I look at my prefix cirro, that they are very low, medium, or high in the sky. What did cirro mean? Low, medium, or high? Wesley? Cirro meant very high stratus clouds. And if you look at this picture, it looks like a combination of cirrus and stratus clouds, doesn't it? It blankets the sky. It's not as thin and wispy. It doesn't look like hair. It looks like very thin stratus clouds, and they're very high, which is exactly what these are. We talked about the two types of clouds in the name, cirrus and stratus. They're formed high in the sky. They do blanket the sky, but you can still see through them a little more than a regular stratus cloud. Cirrostratus. Cirrocumulus. We'll go back. Cirrocumulus. What two names do you see in this cloud? Cirrocumulus. Grayson. Cirro is our prefix, which Wesley just told us means very high, and then we see cumulus. Do these look like very high cumulus clouds? Yeah, they don't look as low and as puffy. They look smaller, and they look like they're a lot higher than those other clouds. Cirrocumulus clouds form high in the sky above 20,000 feet. And because it's a cumulus cloud, you know it's small and puffy like a cotton ball. Fair weather comes with these types of clouds. Altocumulus. I have a new prefix. What did alto mean? Where in the layers would that be? Not high, because we said that was cirrus. So it's either middle or low. Alto. Low? Alto, it's in the middle. Alto's your mid layer. Altocumulus, these are middle layered cumulus clouds. They look like fuzzy bubbles that are connected in long rows. These clouds form between the 8,000 and 20,000 feet. That's the middle layer. They're made of water droplets. They might be white, they might be gray. When you see these clouds, it means a cold front is coming. If it's warm and humid, a thunderstorm can be predicted. Whoa. Right by the picture. Altostratus. I know that these are mid-level stratus clouds, and I thought a stratus cloud would be a mid-level cloud. Not too sure why they put that in its own category. Between 8,000 and 20,000 feet, which is where stratus clouds would form anyway. Made of water droplets. They're grayish-blue clouds that cover the whole sky. Still sounds like a stratus cloud to me. You can expect widespread storms to occur, rain or snow. Still sounds like a stratus cloud to me. Not too sure what the big difference between altostratus and stratus is, but there you have it. Now I'm getting into the clouds that I think are probably, at least one of them that's right there with the top three. This might be number 5 on my list. Nimbostratus clouds. Nimbostratus clouds are very important. They look very dark. They look very gray. They look very gloomy, as Jamari described them. And Nimbostratus clouds are described as this. Nimbo, the prefix, means it is definitely going to rain. If you have clouds that blanket the entire sky and they are dropping all their precipitation, you can expect light to moderate, steady precipitation. That's that all-day rain, where all we hear outside of the window from 7:50 till 2:25 is shh, and we all get really sleepy when we hear that. Those are Nimbostratus clouds. Cumulonimbus. If I had to rank Cumulonimbus, it's probably going to take over something in the top 3 personally for me. I know you'll see Cumulus. I know you'll see Cirrus. I know you'll see Stratus. I'm 100% sure you'll see Cumulonimbus. And there's a big reason why you're going to see Cumulonimbus. I look at that cloud. Do you think anything good is coming out of that? No, that looks like a tornado or a bomb went off, right? It forms down low, and it has this flat top that looks like an anvil, this anvil shape, and it's because it forms so straight up and tall that you can have that massive convection cell inside of there, and that's how hail forms. When you see this, Talon wakes up and he looks outside and he sees very dark, ominous-looking clouds. It's typically safe to assume we're probably not playing ball today. You might still go until they call it off, but when you know it's going to thunderstorm, you're not playing baseball outside that day. It's not safe to be outside doing anything in those types of storms because they produce lightning and dangerous winds and hail and lots of rain and floods. These clouds have a flat bottom rising up into that anvil-shaped top that we saw. They are also called thunderheads. Thunderheads. And they bring very, very heavy precipitation. When you see these clouds, you need to take caution. You need to be careful. I have seen many questions worded around the fact that why do you even need to know the types of clouds? To predict the type of weather, especially dangerous weather that might occur. Cumulonimbus clouds, 100% sure are going to show up. I know they'll be on my tests. I'm fairly certain they'll be on the benchmark, and I know it'll be on the EOG. That is just one of those words you have to know. Cumulonimbus clouds are very dangerous. They're storm clouds. You have to know cumulonimbus clouds.